1252 Sports Entertainment presents the one, the only, the One-Timer Hockey Show. Live with Andrew Faubert and Matt Bannon. So get your puck bunnies and give your balls a tug, because it's time to do that hockey. Let's do that hockey, baby.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the One-Timer Hockey Show. My name is Matt Bannon. I'm joined by Andrew Faubert here in the Whistle Sports Bar and Grill 159 studio in downtown Lockport. A little rainy tonight, maybe not up by you, Andrew, but
actually,
I know it was, a little bit. Oh, is it raining L's up there too? Because I remember Friday's game being pretty good for our end, but
that was a good, nice little layup there. Well played. Well played.
Absolutely. Hey, we at least made it go to overtime, keep you technically undefeated there. So we'll let the Devils do that tonight, maybe, or
I'm hoping not, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Definitely. But yeah, that was hell of a game. I was there live, so I got to witness it in all of its glory, overtime and everything. But I did want to bring this up. That was probably the most opposing fans I've ever seen at the United Center before. And it makes me sad again that we only ever play Detroit once at home now.
There was that many?
There was a ton. It was probably, I'd say 50-50, honestly. It was a pretty even split, yeah. Tons of Red Wings fans there.
Oh, wow. Okay. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, there was more "Let's go Red Wings" chants than "Let's go Hawks," honestly. So that just shows how many people were there and how many more people were so much more disappointed by the result.
Oh, yeah, I know, but still, it's like, yes, we're back.
Right? It's so good. And I mean, it makes me miss that constant rivalry, because I had a ton of fun. I made a lot of new friends, Red Wings fans and otherwise, but it just really goes to show how great hockey is.
Hockey is a great and accepting sport.
Absolutely, even though you root for the wrong team. But that's okay, because you got that nice little gnome sweater coming your way for Christmas. So
yeah, we had a nice little friendly wager of a ugly Christmas sweater for the person who lost that game and in overtime.
In overtime, yep. That was wonderful.
Yeah, you're going to relish in that. That's the only time we play this whole entire year. So it's just like, even if, I win the Stanley Cup or something like that, you're going to be like, well,
yeah, it doesn't matter. I still got that. So
I guess the only thing that I can have on you is the fact that Kubalik had 2 points.
That's true. He did score that, and I do remember shouting at him. I said, "Dude, wrong goal, buddy. You got to go the other way." He didn't seem to listen. Yeah,
we pay him now, dude. That's just the way it goes.
It was heartbreaking to see that. I was like, "Oh no, this is it's officially over," and I miss him so much already, especially because of he tried his best to make us lose on Friday. Couldn't quite do it, just like Seattle did. They couldn't quite do it either. Can't finish the job with the Hawks so far.
You guys are doing a good job of keeping yourself out of the run for the Connor Bedard sweepstakes.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, we decided after losing the first 2 games, hey, what if we just started winning instead? Because we're on a 3-game win streak. All 3 have been from behind, though. So that shows that we're still there in the running to be a bad team. We just have to decide to be a bad team.
How many draft picks do you need?
Right. I think it's especially, you saw it out of, I don't know if you were watching the entire game there, but Domi was really hustling his ass off that game. He really wanted to show that he's worth his contract and more to whomever wants to, I guess, buy him off at the end of the season here. He's doing a good job of that himself, but bad job for the team overall.
I mean, I watched some of the highlights of it. I ended up being out with the family, And they're from the highlights I've seen, like the Red Wings played their type of game and they lost the game their type of way, where they just gave it away. Like, here you go.
Yep, true fashion.
Yeah, true, absolute Red Wing fashion. And I just kind of figured, I knew a lot of my buddies were like, come on, bet on the game then if you're so. And I'm like, nope, these are trap games. These are the games that I would lose money 110% of the time. So
that's how they get you.
That's how they get me, and that's what happened.
Exactly. But then I know I said it earlier today before we went live that you ended up stomping the Ducks on Sunday 5-1.
Any day we can stop the Ducks is a great day.
Oh, absolutely.
I fucking hate the Ducks. That logo is absolutely atrocious.
It's really bad. It makes it, especially because they just launched those reverse retro ones again, and they have the Mighty Ducks. I'm like, just go back to being the Mighty Ducks at this point.
That I agree, but I think Disney now owns that logo technically.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of forced it.
Let's talk about this for a second. The retro jerseys came into the league.
Mm-hmm.
They now have the schedule of when these jerseys are going to be used and this, that, and everything else. First, let's talk about our jerseys. I don't know about you. I fucking hate mine.
I was going to say the same thing. I think they look ugly. And everybody's like talking about specifically the Red Wings, how, they did it better. I'm like, yeah, they might have done it better, but it's still bad.
I don't know. That's like the one they did, 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago.
They added a gray stripe to the arm, and I'm like,
yeah, there you go. Now it's different. So now you can buy it again for premium price. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, no, I'm good. What about you? Do you like yours?
No, not at all. It's like it's like the barber pole, the old like 20s barber pole style ones, except they just dumbed it down. They took away things instead of adding a gray stripe. So it's just and then just Chicago. Oh, where am I from? Oh, hold on. There, it's right there. Never mind. We're good. I remember where we're at now. It's just it seems lazy. I don't know if it's because we played so many like outdoor games and stuff and gotten so many extra, I guess, special sweaters that they're just running out of ideas, or they're trying to downplay us so that other teams that normally don't get the special treatment get that, I guess, spotlight, if you will.
Yeah, like there's some of the jerseys that are out there. Some of the teams did it right. Like San Jose won, in my opinion.
Yeah, that one looks nice.
That one's
really nice.
Wear that one all the time.
Make that your official one at home or something. So it's like so much nicer
when you play only Pacific teams or something like that. Like it's pretty. I really like that one. There was also one that had a bit of purple in there, and I can't remember if it's the Islanders or the Kings.
I think it was the Kings have the old purple and yellow, which I think the Lakers or somebody ended up taking up. Yeah,
the yellow Kings are sweet.
Yeah,
I like the Kings one too.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like it's funny because Seattle technically has to have one, even though they're a brand new team, and it's just their same one except a little washed or something.
I'm gonna be quiet for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it's up.
The S is dope.
Oh yeah, I don't mind the S.
Like octopus or something on the front of that jersey. They did a mean looking octopus.
I like it.
Goalie sticks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They need an octopus with like at least 2 goalie sticks.
Oh, definitely.
And a helmet, and then that's it. That's all I'm saying. And I'm done. Don't ask me playing through the rest of the show. This is your guys' show. I'm in the background.
We will be having Jamie pop in and out.
Yeah, every once in a while, you know.
But I actually, Seattle's, a lot of people were hopping on the Seattle one, and I'm like, listen, that was just a design for the original jersey that they are used. They're like, we had to come down to the final 3, and it was like, they said, fuck the other one, and it was that one and the one that they currently use. And they were like,
I think they just did a coin toss, honestly, to determine which ones they're going to go with. But hey, look at that. They got it back almost immediately. So
now someone on I think it was Twitter did like a, if you added or whatever, and it was if you took the Kraken's jersey, like the retro jersey, and you made it so it was kind of like Vancouver Grizzly style or the Vancouver Canuck style with that old native imprint on the collar and like a stripe down there. And you made that like all the different colors of what the Kraken is too.
Yeah,
that design looks really cool.
That would be awesome, but of course that requires extra effort, which I feel like I also saw probably on Twitter or Reddit or something, people were like, a lot of these look like a school project that you had for like 3 months and forgot about it, and you turned it in right at the end after like one night of like, oh, that's due tomorrow. Oh, we really got to get on this then.
My entire career.
Yep.
Like, when's it due? Tomorrow? Shit.
Oh, okay. I remember I had some for it. Chicago.
Adderall.
Yeah, Adderall. There you go. That works. And that's what they did. They got paid lots of money for that, which, I mean, I might end up buying one eventually, but we'll see what happens. They have to start losing more games or winning decisively at this point. So
it's going to be funny when, say, like the XFL or like the G League or something like that. Some of these guys, a different league is eventually going to use some of these great content creators for jerseys,
right,
and be like, you know what? Come here. All of you get in a room and create jerseys for our entire league. And honestly, they'll be the best ever.
Oh, yeah, because especially if you're getting people that, do this for fun. So imagine what would happen if you said, all right, you have like all these copyrighted logos that you can use and essentially with relative to them, infinite money. So go for it. And then that's what's going to happen instead of doing, I guess, well, we've seen what legacy type designers can get you in a pinch. So I'd rather turn to, even 2 days after people were making better ones immediately. And like, oh, wow, talent's there. You just got to find them, I guess.
Now, to be fair, and I will add this in there too.
To be fair.
To be fair. See, I'm glad I can say that finally, and people know what I'm fucking saying.
Absolutely. Leonard Ketty's a gem.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely.
Anyways, some people were saying that the reason why the NHL is getting lazy with these jersey designs is because the best happened in, like, say, the 70s and the 80s for jersey designs. And I'm like, okay, that's fair, because if you look at like the Golden Seal jerseys back in the day, those ones were dope. The Buffalo Sabres when they first came in, those were dope.
That was nice, yeah.
And I know you guys may hate this team a lot, but like the St. Louis Blues jersey back in the day was still crisp and clean, and
it was crisp. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
no further compliment, but I'll give it crisp.
The Islanders, like the old school,
one,
is still iconic and a top 4. But then I'm like, the early 90s really did it with the Coyotes beat up.
Oh, absolutely. That's still one of my absolute favorites is the 90s Coyotes.
The Mighty Duck.
Mighty Duck, of course. Yep.
Logo.
Yep.
And then the other one was the San Jose Sharks. Like the San Jose Sharks were a big one when they came out because of just that one being that color. The fact that it all went together, but it was like that tealish green that everybody was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's cool. The logo, dope. Like,
definitely.
8 out of 10. Put the check mark on it.
They did it right. Yeah.
Yeah. But the color, 11 out of 10.
Perfect. Yeah, they really found their stride with that one. So
that's what I mean. Is like, what do we have to have 2 more expansion teams to really see like what the logos are? Because like, don't get me wrong, just making sure the fiance's not around so she can't hit me. The Golden Knights logos literally existed in every video game since like
I was gonna say. I mean, even if you look at the first Call of Duty from like 2000, I'm pretty sure you could still find it in there.
Yep.
I mean, or any. I mean, even in like original WoW, it's just a helmet. So how hard is it to
now
really recreate that?
The Kraken one is original, but still looks weird, and it's still going to take a lot of people some getting used to. I fucking love it.
I think it's good.
The best thing too is because I broke 3.5 weeks before the whole thing came out. I had someone inside leak it to me, be like,
"Ooh, nice.
This is what it is. You can run with it all you want. Don't tell anybody that I gave it to you, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, have fun if you want." And I sat on it for like a couple of days, and I'm like, I don't know. My platform's not that big.
Yeah.
And I'm like kind of extending to other people too. And I'm like, do you want this? They're like, no. And I'm like,
you should though. It's great. I thought there was going to be like I know there was some like rumors of there being a trident in there somewhere too, which I thought would have been a cool addition to it one way or another. But
the trident actually is part of the other logo that they were going to go
that's what it was.
with the other team. They were going to be possibly called. The three that they wanted to be called was obviously the Metropolitan, and they were pushing hard for it.
Yeah,
they couldn't get it because of the conference.
Mm-hmm.
The NHL, there was apparently going to be some sort of an agreement where they might have actually changed the Metropolitan.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Division over so that they can call the Seattle
their team that.
But they decided to go the other way because of the new concept. So the other one that they had was the Steelheads, and the Steelheads was supposed to be that. So kind of like the Islanders logo back in the day with that fisherman, but a little bit more of like a side up.
Okay.
Where the Steelhead is kind of got like that mean look, and the trident's kind of coming up with it, and it had the Seattle color. There was going to be a lot more like silver-ish. They had a very intricate silver. And then, of course, there was like the jet black. And then the other underlying color was like not like a gold, but like someone would be better, like a brownish, whatever, for the trident. And it all actually, like, I was looking at some designs of what the jerseys could have looked at afterwards, and I'm like, that could have worked. That could have worked because of Seattle being all like greeny and stuff like that. But like, I like the Kraken.
Yeah, I like the Kraken. I think the biggest, I remember talking about it when it was announced. I think the biggest thing was that the Kraken is technically from the Atlantic Ocean. There's no actual Pacific myths about a Kraken. It's all from the other ocean. So people were like, that's the wrong side of the country that they're on. They're like, a giant sea creature. It's made up regardless. So maybe just relax a little bit. I thought that was kind of funny. Like, well, at least somebody was paying attention. They just did, let's just go to the other side. It's easier.
it takes in the nature of hockey teams being really bad at spelling their logos, right?
Oh, absolutely. Softball that one out there.
I will do it every time I get a shot at them.
And we took a shot at them on Sunday, almost losing to them, specifically the Blackhawks to the Kraken, but managed to pull that one out too. That was pretty nice. Didn't go to that game, mostly, but
I will give the Kraken credit that I still don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year, but they do seem to actually have picked it up a lot more than they have last year. Like Gunther or Gunthier or whatever you want to call him. And Shane Wright seems to have like a little bit of like the stuff and a couple of the young guys, but
I wouldn't say chemistry yet, but they're seeming to work more together, if you will, towards at least the goal. I mean, they managed to beat the Avs in Denver, which is pretty wild. So, I mean, they're doing better than anybody expected. They're doing better than I expected, honestly. And I did not expect much from them. So,
and I kind of expected them to be in the Bedard running as well. Like I said, Chicago, Arizona, and Seattle would be the three teams that are kind of 1, 2, 3 draft pick. It might actually be, and I know they're winning and stuff like that, but I still think Philadelphia will probably be in there eventually.
Oh yeah, they'll do the classic kind of peter out after All-Star or something.
Start trading off. Trading off the rest of the talent and then do the full rebuild because Tortorella will eventually,
every time
do his thing. The other team, obviously Montreal, but everybody needs to understand that if Montreal gets Connor Bedard, we're fucked.
Why do you say that exactly?
Listen, look at the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
The Edmonton Oilers went from having nobody for a while, having all these draft picks like given to them because they sucked that bad.
They were very bad.
Like they had the Hall and Ebbs show on a radio station for a long time, and then when they were gone, they were like, "We don't know what the fuck to do anymore." So like, gone by. Now it's like it's Daddy Draisaitl and like McDavid's home. Like that's how it is all the time. McDavid made this team better, right? And Crosby was the last version of that before McDavid. And before that was probably like the Yzerman type scenario. And then before that was obviously Gretzky. And then before that, Howe, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of, you know what I mean? So now we're getting Bedard. And
That's true,
he comes in, and if Bedard is, we'll say allowed, because I'm thinking he's going to get drafted, but that means he's allowed to play with these guys professionally at a job for the rest of his life. He gets to go to the Montreal Canadiens. He doesn't get to be he doesn't have to be the captain. That's all Suzuki. Suzuki gets to be the one that has to learn French. Suzuki's the one that has to be the leader of that team. Bedard just goes in there with the attitude that McDavid has. Yeah. And just is like, get the fuck out of my way and let me do my thing.
Yeah, I'm here to score goals, and that's it. So you work around me at this point.
And you're gonna tell me that he gets to choose, like he basically gets to go into camp, and they're gonna throw all these guys on the same line. He's gonna develop with someone, but he's either gets to do it with Kirby Dach, he either gets to do it with Cole Caulfield, he gets to do it with Frisky or whatever the heck that dude's name is there. He might even get to do it with Suzuki. Yeah, and then it's like, take your pick how you rotate these lines. Like that's
you'd have essentially a revolving super line, and it'll always work every game because there's no spots. Yeah, it just constantly develops. That'd be hard to play against. Almost impossible if it works. So
it's what the Oilers have been trying to do for a long time, because they've had Nuge and they're trying to get everybody to work around. And they're like, it's McDavid and Draisaitl. They play on the same line.
Yeah,
they work together. When Bedard goes to, say if Bedard even got drafted to you there for a bit, Bedard goes to play with Patrick Kane for a little bit. Free agents are going to come fill in the rest of that fucking roster.
Be there. Yeah.
Even I'm going to be like, I might have to get a Bedard here, that like jersey. That's pretty nice. I will not buy. Listen, I will not buy a Montreal Canadian Bedard jersey. I would buy a Blackhawk one.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'd rather have definitely a Red Wings Bedard over a Blues Bedard, but I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that. Yeah. Yep. I'm going to say that right now.
Blues,
I do not like the Blues one bit, which is funny because I go down there all the time, or I used to go there all the time to catch the games because I have a friend that lives in St. Louis. Fun, phenomenal time, fun people. Hate that team. Hate that team 100%.
I actually, this is going to sound kind of bad. I watched the finals when they won. I was kind of like rooting for them. But I had felt that like a couple of years ago had one of those squads that like was always a pain in your ass. Or like the conversation we had on the first show here where Minnesota, Chicago, and St. Louis had to find each other in the playoffs somehow. That's just how it went. And when that happened, especially with like the Blues, you go to game 7 and it's like fucking coin toss. So with the St. Louis Blues, I was kind of hoping like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, that squad would take it because everybody was kind of younger, and they finally got it all back together, and they won the cup. And even I was like, okay, finally, like they got it, blah 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 blah. But I know you were in the same mode as I. Like they didn't need it. The same thing with me with the Maple Leafs. In my lifetime, I don't need to fucking see it.
Yeah, I don't need to see it. I would be shocked, honestly, if we saw that. But I would need to take a break. And speaking of breaks, we're going to take a quick one here to hear from our wonderful sponsors, a few local companies as well. So sit right back and we'll be right at the back with you.
Hello, this is Paul from Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. We are located at 1026 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport, Illinois. We are very excited to be partnering up with the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show, as well as the 1252 brand, because we are one of the few Chicagoland breweries that embrace sports and sports culture. Come in for a fresh brewed beer made right here in Lockport while catching the game of your favorite team. Stay for the live music that we have booked every weekend, or just come for a cozy atmosphere to enjoy a good conversation with a friend, loved one, or complete stranger. Nick and Ivy makes you feel right at home no matter what the occasion is. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching for Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. Visit our website for our up-to-date tap list or to go shopping on our online store at nickivybrewing.com. That's NIKIVY brewing.com. Come in today for a fresh brewed beer born and raised in Lockport, Illinois.
Fuzzy football, are you ready, brother? Real football action on a glossy game surface played shuffle style. Slide a shuffle puck at pass or run targets, and a free mobile app keeps track of every game detail.
easy to learn, but this game of skill is difficult to master. Take care of the ball, or turnovers will kill your drive. The game is guaranteed to get your competitive fire burning, and it's perfectly sized to take anywhere. The park, a barbecue, your next tailgate, or fun at home on game nights. Fonzie football is simply the best, most realistic and competitive game of football available anywhere. Add defense when your skill improves and take the game to the next level. The perfect mix of fast action and real football drama, where a last-second Hail Mary can break hearts or make champions.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Darren, licensed real estate broker with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group in Homer Glen. Are you looking to buy or sell? Have you been disappointed in the past? The Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group focuses on providing you with a concierge level of service during the process of buying or selling. We are a service-oriented team with a fresh and professional approach to selling real estate. Our goal is to combine knowledge, skills, and passion to exceed our clients' expectations, and most of all, we truly care. We are a knowledgeable real estate team focused on offering expertise and innovative solutions for our clients. The Jonathan Darren team has 5 full-service real estate brokers and a dedicated full-time marketer servicing all of Chicagoland. We will customize a detailed plan around your timeline for a sale, purchase, investment, estate, or other needs. Real estate transactions can be stressful, but don't need to be. Let us handle it for you. Visit our website, homesbyjdt.com, or call 708-308-1938 today. Expect better in real estate. Choose the Jonathan Darren team.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Whistle Sports Bar and Grill 159 studio down here in Lockport, Illinois. Andrew and I were just talking about potentially what could happen if Bedard were to go to certain teams and walking down a bit of memory lane as well. But before that, I think a little score update. I checked on your Red Wings, and it looks like they're not doing too hot right now to the Devils, are they?
Did I score another one?
I'm seeing 4-1 right now.
What the hell? That's 4-1. Yeah.
It's only the second, though, so you got some time to come back.
Oh, would you look who's in net again? The
Speaking of losing teams, I was just checking the standing to see if it were to just go right now, who would be the worst one and potentially who would get him. Looks like Vancouver Canucks are in last place. They are the only team that hasn't actually won a game yet so far out of the 7 they've played.
Talk about like insert and play. Like that would be okay. Going back to what we said about Chicago and St. Louis and Minnesota and all those teams, like how they would play each other. There was that little spurt where Vancouver was part of all that too for like 3 or 4 years.
That was fun. That was back when they were good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they had like no superstars. The Sedin twins, I guess. Were superstars,
well,
I guess.
Yeah. The only, I guess, 2 that you could consider it at that point.
Yeah.
But
Luongo, depending on who you talk to, but like I said before, I don't necessarily put him there. But they did have Bieksa and they did have Burrows a couple of those other guys there too. Like that was a good squad. This team that Vancouver has is like so hit and miss. Like they could be right on your ass. They could be a great team, with like Swiss cheese. They got like they need one more third line guy. They need one more second line this. They need one more defensive second pairing blah. You know what I mean? They need one more backup goalie that's not injured all the time. So like they got holes, but when all their guys play, it's like damn, like they got players.
when they're on, they're on. I mean, looking back through the games, like scrolling through, none of them were like particularly blowouts, except for I guess the Sabres game on Friday. They lost 5-1, but everyone else has been relatively close. I mean, even the Canes, like they only lost by 1, 3-2. So they're there. They just can't quite seem to find any footing. It seems like.
Props to I was gonna say the Buffalo Sabres there the other day for literally sweeping Alberta. Like, I don't know who put money on that going down. I was like, okay. Just
that would have been a decent bet, yeah.
Kicks the shit out of Edmonton and then goes into Calgary right after that. I'm like, well done, guys.
All right, yeah. They just kind of
St. Louis Ram ripoff jerseys, like a job.
Yes, exactly. They've been doing better than expected, I feel like. And then let's see, where are they right now? They're 7th overall. They've only lost 1 game, so
we knew eventually that all of the talent that they've drafted would click. And they've got how many defensemen that they've drafted, like first overall? I think like 2 or 3. How many of those guys in the like on the forward list there are all guys that they've just stolen in the draft because they've had like 2 first round picks, like Cousins and Tage Thompson just got paid. There's a couple other there. They even got like a couple goalies in the system. Like they're ready to go, and I'm very happy they're going back to the old logo. This jersey sucks.
Yeah, I think maybe that had something to do with it too. They're just completely wiping the slate clean. They've got everything down the pipeline going for them. They built for the expansion of success. And then they just got to get rid of the last vestiges of, I guess, their experiment from the last couple decades or so.
Like, it doesn't make sense. It's like, can you tell me any time that jersey for the Sabres was actually good? Like, oh, cool, you had Thomas McGillney, I think that's his first name or whatever. It's like, cool, he was flashy for a little bit there, and then all of a sudden you change to the actual Sabre logo, and you got Barnaby and Hasek and Stanley Cup finals that were stolen from you. Like,
yep, oof, that's right. That's a rough memory there for Sabres fans.
Oh man, listen. Talk about like back in the day. Also, like 2 other good jerseys, and you know, a lot of people are different spectrums of both those jerseys. I love the Sabres jersey. Hate the Dallas Star jersey. Though I respect that jersey as a classic. I'm like, listen, that jersey screams Belfort to me, and I'm sorry. Because that's how I know Belfort. Like people are like, I know Belfort because he was a Maple Leaf, and I'm like, yeah, you're Canadian. That just makes sense.
Wow, shocking. Yeah. Whew. Sky's blue. In other words, how about that?
But for me, he is a Dallas Star. Like he was the mean mugging guy there. But they got Mike Modano. They had Brett Hall. They had a couple other guys that I'm forgetting as well. Like that was a squad, and all Buffalo really had. Hasek.
Yep. Which is, I mean, great for his individual solo legacy, but not so much as I guess an organization, as it were. So I really needed something come out of this.
The amount of awards that he won while Patrick Waugh and Martin Brodeur were still at like their highlight.
That's true.
Like, wow.
Yeah, he really hit it. But again, when it's just him, kind of shows can't do everything on your own, can you? Nope, not at all. But they're looking better this year, so that's good. I was trying to see if anybody else is doing anything shocking, but no, I'm not seeing anything that wasn't expected. I don't know. Have you noticed anything any standouts or any kind of flops that you weren't expecting this early yet, or?
Well, I mean, props to the Penguins for maybe realizing that, like, you know, I think to the players themselves too, maybe realizing that this whole McDavid or Crosby and Malkin, legacy, isn't gonna last forever here. Like it's literally, hey Penguin fans, I hope you can hear me here. They're gonna retire soon, and you're gonna have to find some answers, like soon. Like very, very soon. And I think also trade.
Yeah, no, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say you can't trade for those type of answers when you've had Crosby and Malkin. Like,
Yeah, especially for as long as they have. But I was going to say, it's like they got a little bit of insight with what happens if you wait too long on that with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews, because they were starting to get injured or slowing down respectively. And then they weren't really on the same wavelength at the same time. And then you see how that just collapses a team. And when that's your entire like game plan, like, oh no, don't worry, we still have our bedrock. And then all of a sudden it's cracked. You're like, oh, that's going to be us in a few years. We better start looking, down the line a bit more. And I think you're right. They definitely have, and they still have, they still got something out of them still for this season, at least maybe another one or two. But yeah, got to start planning for the future, which is what a few teams did a bit too late.
If you look at like Pittsburgh's done a good job of getting, say, depth and like good third line talent, maybe a couple of second liners throughout the whole thing, and defense, like and goalies. I will give them that, like more so goalies than the defense, like for sure. But they've also kept themselves in contention every single year with the drafting and the signings. The LA Kings went through a little bit of a phase while still keeping their big two, where I guess they kept Dustin Brown for a little bit there, but I'm not going to necessarily count him in the big one. He was big for the cup runs, but not.
Yeah, exactly. Not for the play. Yeah.
No, Kopitar and Drew Doughty you can build upon those guys with the young squad that they got. And that's why Edmonton had a hell of a time in the first round with them last year. And that's why they are like predicted to still be a good team this year. Like props to them. Yeah. But Chicago tried. Like you guys did. And it didn't work. And now everybody's been like, we gotta sell House and this, that, and everything else. And even I joked about it, like sell House again. Like, so what? Like how many draft picks do you need?
And then what? I mean, everybody we've managed to draft and get into the NHL, we have now pretty much given away at this point. Obviously DeBrincat comes to mind. Like he was literally going to be the center and foundation. They said, nah, here you go. You're going to Canada, bud. Yeah. Good luck up there, eh? Yeah. And then away he goes. I mean, Doc, you could say
2 minutes across the border.
Yeah, that's crazy. Which, and then Doc, who I thought kind of was more of a bust than he should have been. But I mean, he'll still be useful to somebody that knows how to use him. And we did not know how to use him in any line, in any capacity, I feel like.
Oh, Kirby?
Yeah, Kirby, Doc.
Which is weird because that's the Fort Sask kid, where like the literal town that I'm in. Like he and his brother are from here. Sebastian Costa has played in this town for a little bit. Joffrey Lupul was from here. Ray Whitney was from here. There's a couple of guys like that are from this town too. And I'm just like, what, this whole fucking town's producing. Well done.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say you're in a good town there. Yeah, you got any young ones you could send to our scouts real quick? Because we could certainly use them down here.
Well, my son, I'll let him choose. Like, I think it's probably next year when I start putting like all the different types of sports equipment in front of him and be like, okay, whichever one
you're feeling,
then I'll go with that for a little bit. But if he's a multi-talented athlete, he's like, I want to play all the sports, I'm like, done.
Go for it. Yeah, that'd be great.
Done. I was limited to 2. They're like, you can do track and field and one other sport. And I was like, I want to do football. I want to do football and like basketball. And then the school told me, they're like, it's the same season. You can't do both. And I'm like, but I want to do
exactly.
Both. I have so much hyperactiveness. I want to do all the sports. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Cause I ended up doing, here we go. We have a comment from Cindy Lukowski-Bannon. Which head coaches do you like most? I'm liking what ours is doing so far. I don't know if I'd go so far to say as I like him a lot. I don't know. Who'd you say, Andrew? Who's caught your attention?
I like mine too. I like our new guy that we got from Tampa. I really do. His name really just, it's because I'm trying to think of all the other guys around.
Yeah, I was going through it. I mean, obviously, now that we were just talking about the Penguins recently, Sullivan, I think, to his credit for what we just said, I think he has a good eye on him for that, specifically, at least long term. I don't know how much he's involved with that kind of development or whatever, but his ability to adapt with what he's playing with, I think, is decent. So I'll give that to him.
This is gonna sound weird, but a lot of my head coaches that I like are all not in the NHL.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Like I like the Swedish coach Broberg. I don't think he would work for the NHL. Like I know Detroit sniffed him when we were looking for our new head coach, and I was even like, hey, these guys are gonna need a kick in the ass. Nothing like saying like your great Swedish dude comes down to like a whole squad of Swedish dudes and says,
yeah, right.
Get to fucking work. So that one I was okay with. The Russians one though, like Igor Larionov and Sergei Fedorov. Sergei Fedorov is like Patrick Waugh when he first came in. It's just different. The NHL will never adapt around it because they don't like it.
Yeah, that's true. They have also on a tangent, like right there with the NHL. They don't really seem to like change all that much as it turns out, which is weird for a sports organization. You'd think you want to embrace that, but they don't.
Yeah, it's weird that they, because like it would make like I liked it when Patrick Waugh was like, fuck it, we're down 4-1. 5 minutes to go in the game, 6 minutes to go in the game. I'm going to pull goalies and I'm going to try it. It's like, why not?
See what happens. Yeah. At that point, what do you have to lose? And I feel like that's kind of a talent you don't really see too much anymore, or at least kind of brazen for it. I know, harken back to Blackhawks, Quinville like to do stuff like that, not to the same extent, but he wasn't afraid to just completely shuffle everything if things were going to hell in a handbasket, and it for the most part worked out to his extent. 3 cups is not too bad. So,
well, that's like there's right now as it sits, who is the weakest team in the NHL?
Weakest team. What do you think? Who would you put at the weakest?
You no.
Oh, I thought you were pointing to the Red Wings poster in the background.
No. It's Arizona for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd say once Vancouver finally figures out what they're doing, especially they're playing the Kraken on Thursday, and I think that'll help jumpstart them. But I would agree, Arizona and then Anaheim. The Ducks are definitely not doing well at all either.
The rivalry between Vancouver and Seattle is real. Like it's not as real as say Calgary and Edmonton, just because of how long they've existed.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that they're in the same country, like in the same province and everything like that. But Vancouver's been waiting for Seattle to get a hockey team, and they've been like, we're not going to show them any fucking remorse.
Yeah,
like, you're basically stealing our fans.
Exactly. And this will be I think probably a good game to watch just because of that, especially because Vancouver needs a kick in the ass right now to start their season. So this will be a good one to watch, which would be nice. They need a good game out of both teams, I feel like here. Ooh, another one from Fat Mike. As the Hawks are winning, oh, God, I can't read from that far away. Is this going to be a damper on Bedard? I say no in the long run because here's how I see it. We're still early in the season. We're playing against teams that are also still trying to figure themselves out, respectively with lines. As of late, we've played a few teams that are kind of iffy, minus the Red Wings, and we managed to beat them because they let us. So, but I think that it comes down to we have a lot of essentially burner contract players who want their contract value to go up. So individually they will play well, but then as a team, I feel like not so much. And that'll bring down the wins, but it'll be essentially like Patrick Kane was last year. He has insane numbers, looks great overall for everything, but then on a terrible team because the wins just aren't there.
Yep.
That's my feeling on it, at least.
I still think you guys will be in it. I am really like thinking Montreal is probably going to be in on that because it's a lot easier to bring in Bedard and have the news just be about Bedard and let Carey Price go and not have anybody say anything about it. But if you don't get Bedard, you let Carey Price, and you let Carey Price go without him touching the ice, like and then never coming back kind of thing, you will never, ever hear the end of it from Montreal Canadian fans.
Absolutely.
You got to
Like,
like
so
bait
he
them over
was-
here. Take
Yep.
this. Take.
Yeah, look at this instead of what we're doing behind the scenes, because he's not doing great with it. Oh, what do we got here? Are we worried about beard size in the NHL?
Nope.
No.
McDavid
Not really.
was projected to be like a small guy too. I know that Bedard's probably 2 inches smaller than him, but
A little bit, yeah.
yeah, here's the thing. A lot of people are just trying to nitpick at Bedard now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you're on the top, everybody's aiming at you. So
Yeah. It doesn't, people need to understand that Bedard has like a shot. Like Bedard shoots differently than McDavid. McDavid is let me dangle and bring it to the net. And he can shoot like basically everybody else. There's a reason why he practices the slap shots from the circle and everything else. Bedard already comes to the NHL pre-skilled with a fucking hand-eye coordination. I'm going to put this puck in the top corner of the net or wherever it needs to go. Everything else, you build a team around him. You give him a goon. You give him a Draisaitl and another guy on the other side, and he's going to be just fine. And you basically have another Pittsburgh Penguins or another Edmonton Oilers or another would be what was the other last one there? I guess, or like a Washington there. Sorry, with Ovechkin. You know, you just
a little bit.
You build around that one guy, get him a friend, you'll be fine.
As a specific thing. We having some technical difficulties here behind the scenes, or nope? Good. All right, cool. Move on. But yeah, I agree with that. He's coming in like we had kind of touched on before. I'm coming in with this. This is what I'm bringing. Whoever I end up with, they'll figure it out. And if they don't, well, then somebody else will take me pretty quick. So nothing to worry about with size wise. I feel like, again, even if you get a goon and like an enforcer on top of that, or even just somebody that's like, all right, you're kind of towards the end of your career, anybody touches them, just plaster them against the wall. Doesn't matter. Take the bench time or whatever, fine, suspension. Like, doesn't matter. As long as you have that kind of protect you, nobody's going to do anything to him. Nobody's going to be dumb enough to do anything to him.
You know what I had just thought of too, and it would make sense, like kind of going back to that whole Montreal thing. Who's Montreal's head coach?
I don't actually know that off the top of my
It is
head.
Martin St. Louis.
Oh, it is Martin St. Louis. That's right. I was just talking about the other day too.
And what is Martin St. Louis? What was he known in the NHL for being? Like, a lot of people let him go down in the draft board because he was just way too fucking small.
Yep. And
so if Bedard went to if he went to St. Louis as like a head coach mentor and stuff like that, and he goes to because we all know if you get drafted, if you are a good talent, you get drafted to a team especially in Canada. I'm going to use Canada especially. Like,
that's
sometimes fair. Detroit, it's kind of died down a little bit more. Same thing with the original six. It's kind of died down. Maybe the Rangers a little bit more so now. But when you play for the Toronto Maple Leafs or the Montreal Canadiens, or actually the Edmonton Oilers, especially, like, it's ridiculous how much they care about their fucking hockey team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they
and I think
they will tear you apart, and they will they'll boo you. They'll throw your jersey out on the ice. So you want to talk about development? Bedard will get it from the Canadian fans too. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, if he screws up somehow, I mean, he'll just get broken apart. And speaking of breaks, we're going to take another short one here to cover some more of our wonderful sponsors for us here at 1252. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Stagecoach in Lockport has a unique menu from fresh salads and burgers to venison and steak sandwiches. We feature plenty of appetizers and desserts for a perfect way to start or end your meal. Come into our country western bar and dining room or relax outside on our patio sitting in the heart of downtown Lockport on State Street. We can accommodate both small gatherings and large parties. Offering 16 different beers on tap, frozen margaritas, an extensive bourbon and whiskey menu, and our famous Bloody Marys, you cannot go wrong at Stagecoach. And if you're feeling lucky, come try DJ Bingo on Tuesdays or our Big Pay slot machines all week. Stagecoach is located at 1028 South State Street in Lockport, Illinois. Everyone is a friend at Stagecoach. Hope to see y'all soon.
Hi, this is Kathy O'Connell at Coach's Corner, located at 8118 West 143rd Street in Orland Park. Our phone number is 708-364-1026. We are Orland Park's #1 sports bar. Come in for our wonderful beer menu and seltzers with a fully stocked bar. Watch a game, drink a beer, and try something off our amazing menu. We have everything to choose from: nachos, potato skins, and our house-made bar chips to start off with. Then try our tacos, burgers, and one of our delicious sandwiches. And don't leave without trying our famous jumbo wings. They do not disappoint. Coach's Corner. It will sure to become your local bar. Again, we are located at 8118 West 143rd Street in Orland Park. Come see us today.
Megaplex Sports Complex is a 78,000 square foot center filled with hardwood and turf. They have baseball rentals with batting cages, softball, soccer, lacrosse, gymnastics, cheerleading, cornhole, basketball, volleyball, and pickleball. It also features a bar and grill with the best pizza and beef sandwiches around. They cater to events such as birthdays, graduations, corporate parties, as well as memorabilia shows. Check them out at Megaplex Sports Complex, 15301 South Bell Road in Homer Glen, 708-966-4210.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Whistle Sports Bar and Grill 159 studio down here in Lockport. Just real quick, Andrew, before we jump back into everything and have our final thoughts for the night, just thought you'd especially love this one. Score update from the Blackhawks-Panthers game. They are currently leading 1-0 with 11 left in the first period. So how about that? That's a good sign. No, that's a great sign.
No, we want Bedard.
Well, it's still only game, was it 6? That's only the first period. I still want to win.
Your computer voice in the background there is telling you the proper things that you should be wanting.
Maybe. Well, that's true, but we have a long season ahead of us. Like I said, we're going to see individuals breaking out, but the team overall kind of suffering. But just figured I'd toss that one out there real quick.
Yeah.
But also surprising, the Arizona Coyotes are up 4-0 against the Blue Jackets at the end of the second. So always a surprise. Apparently nobody wants Bedard for some reason. All the losing teams are trying to win real hard here.
Well, maybe that's the thing, is it goes back to what I've said before, where certain teams will kind of die, go meh for a little bit and then start winning at the end of the season. Is maybe that's what's going to happen to all these bad teams, is they'll win right now and then they'll be like, oh no, we suck. We're losing.
Be like that meme where the guy's riding the bike and he sticks a stick through his front tire and then, how could they do this to us? Yeah.
How dare they?
We were doing so well until that happened. But yeah, all righty. So while we're wrapping up here, anything else you want to – what are you looking forward to this week in the world of hockey? Anything catching your eye?
I just want the Red Wings to get healthy. This Jacob Verana thing is weird.
Yeah, that's great.
No, and it's not something that we were going to bring up in this segment because it's not like anything really to talk about. We don't know why he went into the substance abuse program.
Yeah.
I know that his cap is still technically against, like, his payment is still against the cap, which means that, like, he's still with the Red Wings.
Yeah,
but
exactly. He's not, like, removed from them yet, because he voluntarily did that, right? He wasn't checked in by somebody else.
I think so. I haven't gotten like a full update on it either. I mean, between me and you, I got news about possible NFL expansion teams the last couple of days, so I've been diving deep into that, trying to figure that out.
Into everything, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
that's
about
weird situation?
Yeah, what about you?
Personally, I like it now that we were talking about it more too. I am looking forward to the Canucks Kraken game this Thursday. I think that'll be. I'm expecting fireworks out of somebody at least, because I think that'll be pretty entertaining regardless. If not, then I guess it's just too. Well, like I said, individual stats go up, so their contracts get more valuable, so we get more out of them when we inevitably lose them. And as long as they're doing well individually, I don't really mind the losses, because that just secures a better, more, I guess, stable future for us, which would be very nice. But again, it's still kind of early in the season. We're only in October still. But I give them a passing grade so far. Got to get people interested first. Yeah.
Yep.
So all part of the plan. Peak up high early and then just slowly coast it down to the bottom. Or abruptly, as it were. But, yeah, all right. Well, I think that just about does it for us here on the One-Timer Hockey Show. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and, of course, all our wonderful sponsors that make this possible. I've been Matt Bannon, of course, joined by Andrew Faubert. Sorry about that, a little tickle in my throat. But, yeah, until next time. Have a good one.
Red Wings.
Oh yeah, hold on. I do have one message from you from everybody at the United Center, specifically for you. It was,
here we go. All right.
And on that note, we're out for the night. Everybody, have a good one. Until next week.
Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you for listening to 1252 Sports Chicago.